Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. So, in this video, I'll be talking about fasting. I'll be talking about my protocol of fasting and how I prepare myself, how I include fasting in my routines so you can design your best routine. So, let's start. One question that I get a lot whenever I'm talking about fasting is if I don't lose muscle mass. So it's important I always like to conversation. I always like to start this conversation talking about the nature of Homo sapiens in our evolutionary process. Sapiens for the last almost half million food available. And when you see different uh, nomadic people and native, uh, well, the people from the hunters that we still see in Africa or in other parts of the world, they they hunt hungry, and they have their best performance while fasting. So to answer that question, we don't lose muscle mass. Maybe we can empty the glycogen stocks from your muscles, but you don't lose muscle mass. Okay, and when you are fasting, your body produces more growth hormone. This will protect your muscle mass. So that's the first thing to think. So don't worry about losing muscle mass. Of course, I'm not recommending nobody to make a 2 weeks fasting. Yeah. So let's come back to sapiens history. We just start to eat uh, carbs more regularly for this last 10,000 years. Before that, we were never had so much carbs available. It means that your our body is capable to live from protein, from fat, and I can say that this is not the optimal food for our species. Carbs, too much sugar. And older you are, you will know that. When I was much younger, my metabolism was much faster, so I could eat carbs without gaining weight or without having some issues, health issues. But older we are, more careful we need to be with the amount of carbs we are eating. So when we think uh, what's the best protocol or for who fast is recommended? So first of all, it's important to see if you have energy stored. I mean, for men, if you have more than 14% of body fat, you can practice some type of fasting protocol and can be beneficial. If you are below that, if you don't have body fat in your body, like let's say 8% of body fat, I don't think it's optimal or recommended. Okay, so that's an important detail. For women, If you are above, let's say, 24% of body fat, you can play with some type of fasting protocol. Okay, so in my case, what is happening now? Uh, I was teaching my Ashtanga yoga class, my Sunday Ashtanga yoga class, and I'm fasting for the last 14 hours, and I will be fasting for 60 hours. That's the plan. And why? So about 3 months ago, I made a bulking protocol. I was gaining weight on purpose. I was building more muscle mass. That was the plan. And after finishing this bulking protocol, I was gaining muscle mass and gaining weight. I was up to 102 kilos. Now I am around 89, so I lost already some weight. And I realized for the last month or so that I was stuck in a plateau. Even with all my activities and with a good diet, I realized that it was difficult to burn fat. And then I decided to make this shock of fasting. But I need to say it is important to feel well nourished. So I have a nutritious diet, and before thinking about long fasting, I was changing my diet to a more low carb diet. So before my fasting, last 10, 15 days ago, I started to eat just uh, some broccoli within my fish, some well cooked cauliflower and carrots, so kind carbs. And after a week or so eating like that, then I start my egg fasting. In my experience fasting, I'm fasting regularly for many years. I think the egg fasting is the easiest way to prepare your body, prepare your mind, and your metabolism to a long fasting. Why? First of all, because you it's easier to get into the ketogenic state. You are eating good amount of fat and good amount of protein, but you restrict your diet. You're not eating carbs, you're not eating tasty things, because after one day of just eating eggs, it's a bit boring. But your body's reduce the insulin levels and you feel less hungry. That's why I think it's one of the best strategies, because you don't feel hungry. So I'm not feeling hungry now after 3 days of eating just eggs. Yeah. And now I'll be active for this next days. I'll be teaching, I'll be walking, I'll be lifting some weights. I will just avoid high intensity training. I will avoid super speed biking or running. I think then it's risky to burn or to have some catabolism. You can degrade your muscle mass, and that's not the idea. The idea is to preserve your muscle mass, is to burn fat, and to promote autophagy. You are cleaning up your system, improving your blood, improving your organs, the functioning of your organs. So what I feel when I'm fasting, always I have this impression. I feel that I'm 10 years younger, at least 10 years younger. I feel faster. I can think faster, think better. My classes, I think, maybe is my impression, but I think my classes are better when I'm fasting. And any sensation of fogginess, maybe when we have, more glycogen in blood in the system, I don't think we are so sharp. Yeah. So whenever I have this state where my body is running on fat, of course, because I'm not eating anything, so it's running on fat. I feel smarter, feel faster. And so it's a good state. And I have food in my fridge, so I'm not, thinking about eating. I don't. It's not a punishment. Like I'm not, you know, repressing my will of eating. No, no, I don't want to eat. I want to stay in this state, in this sensation. It's it's a pleasure. Yeah, you feel that you are fixing your body, fixing your gut, fixing a lot of things. So my tips, if you want to play with that first, be sure you are you have the requirements to perform a fasting. You are well nourished. You have your minerals, your vitamins. If you when you make your blood tests, everything is good, really good, then it's safe. And those that watch, for example, that show Naked and Afraid, they see that common people they stay like 3 weeks without food, and they are functioning. Some of them they are tired, they lose a lot of weight, but they are surviving, they are living well. So we are capable for making long fasting, more like weeks, but I think it's not necessary. So 2 days, 3 days of fasting, it's easy and almost everybody can do it in having benefits. And one of the benefits I think it's fundamental is it's a reset on your relationship with food is a reset. You think after making a fasting that eating is something very special. In the daily life, eating 3 times per day or more, we sometimes eat automatically and we eat without considering that eating it's a grace, it's something so special, and it is. So at the end, I think fasting is a very spiritual practice because you need to count on your willpower as well. Of course, first of all, for in my case, is an understanding process. So I study, I prepare my body, I make a transition to a fasting state. So it's not I'm eating a normal Western diet and suddenly I start to fast. No, I don't think it's healthy. So I think you need to progressively prepare your body and shift into making your body to run on fat, and then it's comfortable, and then it's spiritual because then you're more sensitive to feel how your energy is, if you need to do your activities faster or slower, if you need to drink more or less water. uh, one thing that I use during fasting is water with a bit of salt, and I think it's important. So now, after 3 days of just eating eggs, I lost a little bit more than 2 kilos. And now, because my body is running on fat, easier because of this preparation, because this transition, I expect to burn more fat for this next 2 days. So my breakfast it will be just on Tuesday morning after my yoga class. Then I will break my fast, and I will break my fast with a bone broth. I think is the best thing to break a fast. Uh, then, because I will be in this ketogenic state, I will enjoy because it's not easy to shift into ketogenic state. So, because I will be already there, probably I will stay in this state with this high fat diet for a while. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks more, something like that. Yeah. So I think it's time for my metabolism, knowing my fluctuations and my biorhythm. It's time for me to to hold tight and burn a little bit more of fat. And I think it's easier. I'm not taking any pills or any uh, needles to to help me not feeling hungry, or I'm just counting on science and comprehension, and counting on the Homo sapiens functionalities. We are capable to do fasting, and I know that I feel much younger and much healthier when I have my body fat in the optimal levels. So, my recommendation for you, for my students, for my friends, is make your research and live in this optimal range. That's my recommendation. If you are living in this optimal range without fasting, good. You found a way to have your normal daily routine, preserving your body weight, preserving your muscle mass, and the levels of body fat. Uh, Too much body fat make all your metabolism work worst. And super low body fat is also not good. So when you are in the sweet spot, in the good level, for some people it's 10%, for some people it's 12, for some people it's 8%. Doesn't matter. But you will feel for sure that you are stronger, you're faster, you sleep better, your digestion is good, your recovery is better after exercise, and most importantly, the chance of depression, the chance of laziness, of any type of I don't know, any type of low energy, let's say this, low energy and dumbness. I think you have less chance. Let's say depression. I think you feel stronger, faster, happier when you are in this optimal range, and we are more prepared for any virus or any problems that will come. So for men, for example, if you are above 18%, 20%, you put yourself in a very fragile, very uncomfortable situation. It's like if you are fighting jiu-jitsu and you have one arm, uh, you're not using one arm. You put it in your behind you and you fight with one hand less. Yeah. So you put yourself in an unfavorable situation. Your body will be weaker for dealing with eventual problems you can have. Yeah. And I think we need to always be prepared, always be strong. Okay. So, yeah, I don't want to recommend everybody to practice bulking and cutting and bulking and gaining weight to build more muscle and cutting. Maybe this is healthier or is not so healthy or just recommended for bodybuilders that really want to go to the stage and be more professional. Or if you're a researcher like me, I like to research and to test my limits. But I'm not sure that this is the best protocol for longevity. Building muscle, it's good, but it's completely possible to build muscle without a bulking cycle, a bulking protocol. When you stay 2 months eating in a surplus, you don't need to do that. You can build muscle without that. Okay, so I think it's healthier when you have more or less a stable diet. Yeah? Avoiding feasting, avoiding that you eat like a crazy. I think this is not so optimal, not so healthy. Okay, so I invite you to leave your comments, to leave your questions. I will be fasting for this 2 days, and I will be thinking about that living about, with this experience. So send me your questions. Beside that, I invite you to visit my Patreon if you want to access my exclusive yoga classes and teachings. And if you want to join my yoga classes, I'm teaching almost every morning. You are welcome to try. See you around. Namaste.